of the time. Don't you know the time is short? Soon the Lord will return, yeah. Will you be ready? You gotta repent and get your soul right. He's coming back like a thief in the night. Will he come for you when he cracks the sky up?
Well, we'll let Jillian go, and then Fong go, and then some of these other quiet people who want to make a really great grade, finish strong, they're going to go. So we have Jillian, Fong, and some of these really quiet people.
I'm not like discrediting or crediting anything, but just in a way, I believe everything is eventually uniform is also kind of falsified by science in the way like that medicine works, and having a lot of medical knowledge and studying there, like the same things don't always hold true from person to person. The same treatments don't hold true. I mean, you can have 10 people that have the same exact type of cancer, but in each patient things react differently. And then there are things where somebody's projected, their prognosis is they have 5 days to live, and they live years on. Like, so it's almost like saying that like miracles exist.
Uniformity in nature is not saying that every single thing acts the same way. Say there's a general order to the universe. The fact that we revolve around the sun, our planet spins, we're on a certain axis. Gravity, I was going to mention that a second ago. Gravity, we believe that's a law, an absolute law. I mean, if we didn't believe that gravity was an absolute law, we wouldn't have this building here. Probably, it could collapse tomorrow, or the next thing, you're flying into outer space. But we know gravity is a law, and it's absolute, and we live like that. But if there's no Christian God, and the world's random, not controlled by anything or anyone, for all we know, those things could happen.
I'm just saying, like, certain things will work enough times on 50 people to where it's considered, that it's absolute that something is going to happen this way, and then it doesn't happen that way.
Right. I mean,
there's exceptions, I think,
sure,
for everything. Is just kind of the point that I'm making. Like, from going to church a lot, you're constantly talking about miracles and, God acts in mysterious ways, and, sometimes somebody that, whether they deserve something or not, like something happens miraculously, and there's no scientific, there's no physical explanation for that. But you believe that, people believe with their faith, they believe in miracles, and even when all odds are against them, people still have hope to believe that something out of the normal will happen.
Yeah, I believe in miracles, but the question is, how does science deal with miracles? How do atheists deal with miracles? And the question then becomes, once again, back to this, is that what foundation is there for empiricism in the atheistic worldview? There is no foundation. There's no foundation for the uniformity of nature and trusting in empiricism and trusting in your 5 senses.
Okay. Fong, McCall, Christina.
Christina was up.
Okay, we should in charge. Okay. We're gonna stop at 4:15. So make sure you keep your questions succinct and to the point, and
The answers too.
keep your answers the same way.
Earlier when we said that like Hinduism is the most, we said no, if you include Roman Catholics, Christianity is the most.
Okay.
Well, why do you say that, but then on your sign it says that Roman Catholics are wrong on the other side of the court? Why do you say that they're wrong, but then if it just uses it, it helps your point, then it's right?
Well, here's the thing.
Critical thinking.
The Roman Catholic religion, I think, is outside of what the Bible teaches. But I'm just saying, the statistics themselves, they always include the Roman Catholics. So that's not my stat. I'm just simply saying that's what statistics tell us. But when it comes down to how many Christians I think are in the world?
Stop for a second. Is it intellectual integrity to take a statistic that is a contradiction? Now, I'm not coming against anybody's Christianity, atheism, all this junk y'all jokers want to roll with. But is it intellectual integrity to use a statistic? That's like me having a roll of money, right? I've got like a bunch of 20s. I've got 10 20s. But I have a really stack, right? But under the stack is nothing but paper. So I've got 10 20s, but I've got paper under the rest of it. And I roll off 5, 6, 7, even 8, even 9 20s, but not the 10th. Because underneath the 10th is paper. Is it intellectual integrity to use a statistic that's not valid to make your point? That's what I'm not coming against your belief, but we're teaching this class critical thinking.
Sure.
Because what you just did had anything to do with faith or God, but making your point, you appealed to a logical fallacy that Christina rightly pointed out.
Actually, he brought up the statistic, and I said, if. And then I pointed out the logical fallacy in his thinking, does popularity or majority prove the truth? And it doesn't prove the truth.
But you were annexed, and I'm not coming against your religion.
Right, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying,
but you annexed that point to make your point.
All I said was if. And then I simply said, popularity majority does not determine what the truth is. That's all I said.
Right. So intellectual
So,
integrity.
from my point of view, Catholicism is not included in biblical Christianity. And like I was saying is that from my point of view, very small percentage of the world is Christian. But to go back to his point, if Hinduism, even if it is the largest in the world, it proves nothing. Majority doesn't prove truth.
Okay, and I just want to make y'all sure, and I'm not trying to make y'all lose your faith or find faith. We just having a discussion. Okay, we have a call.
Just phone next.
A phone, and then we'll call, and then girl, Christina, Kristen, Kirsten, Katie, white chick over here. All right, so come on, let's go. Roll.
Okay, so earlier you were talking about how thinking Christianity in logical way, but how logical is it to believe that a greater being created the world in 7 days?
Well, I think that's very logical.
How?
I think the alternative, believing we came from a pool of slime billions of years ago, is very illogical.
Let me stop there.
From what we know from science, from what we know from science, life comes from life. Life never comes from non-life.
Kerrigan, let me stop you there just for a moment. This goes back to annexing intellectual truth. Can you foresee 1 billion years?
Can you foresee 1 billion years?
Can you substantialize 1 billion years? Can you even try to?
I don't know if I can or not, but that doesn't defeat the fact that from what we know from science, we observed and tested and reproduced that life comes from life. Life has never, ever come from non-life. And what evolution teaches is life comes from non-life. I think that's illogical and absurd.
Well, just like your other point, just like your other point that you were making, it could. I mean, that's the point. That's the point of a miracle. I mean, you were saying that you know, with consistency, your point that you were making with consistency, you could go so far as to say that it's possible. Because I know right now that there are scientists that are trying to create life out of non-life, and they're getting pretty close.
Well, here's the problem with that equation. There's an intelligent being involved in making life from non-life, the scientist. Evolution says there is no intelligent being involved in this, making life from non-life. So yeah, I'll give you this. It could happen, but the fact of the matter is it's not science. It's not science, it's faith. And evolutionists won't admit that.